So nothing would piss people off as much as, you know, driving on the road and all of a sudden there's a rock on your windshield and bam, you know. If you're lucky, you end up with one whole star shape, bull eye shape, whatever it is. That's an easy repair. Get a kit from, you know, Canadian Tire for 20 bucks. You know, you can get it repaired easy. Now, if it end up with turning into a big crack, you know, it's not even worth repairing, because if you go to one of these auto glass repair shop, or if you go to one of these, you know, parking lot tent, they charge you by the length of the crack, which is very expensive, and it's not even worth it. You know, once it gets that long, it's a couple $100, and you know, you much rather just get a new windshield. Now you can repair it at home, but you gotta remember to keep the crack as small as you can. Now there's a couple of tips. First, you don't want to park it under direct sunlight, because that's gonna expand the crack. Now you don't want to drive through bumpy roads unless you have to. Then drive slow, because you know that motion is gonna expand the crack as well. Now you also don't want to spray any kind of water or anything on the windshield, because once water gets in the crack, you're gonna have to wait for it to dry naturally. You cannot dry it with hair dryer or a heat gun, because it's gonna expand the crack as well. Now keep in mind of all that and get it repaired ASAP. Now before you actually perform any repair, your windshield may not be exactly clean. You want to make sure that you clean it up. Now don't just spray water at it. You can use damp towel, which I don't recommend, because I like to use rubbing alcohol, because it evaporates and doesn't leave much water on the windshield. You know, but damp towel most time works. You just gotta make sure for it to dry. So wait a couple minutes until it's completely dry. Once water is soaked into the crack, don't do the repair right away. Wait for the water to dry out, or else the resin is gonna get too thin and it's not gonna cure in the proper way. Best way is of course to drill a hole on your windshield. There's other repairs where you can do with a kit like this. You know, it could be bigger, it could be smaller, where you just apply pressure from here, from this side, which puts the glue into the crack, and then the suction cup goes on. You can put some grease on there and slide, but this thing doesn't work super well, plus it's extra bucks anyways. All you need is actually windshield resin, which is specialized. Don't use super glue, it's not gonna work. And then it's better if you obtain these windshield bits, glass bits actually. It's especially designed for drilling holes on windshield. It makes your life a lot easier. I finished drilling the hole already, because it was too hard to do it with one hand. You need two hands for making accurate, precise holes on the glass. So we're just gonna do a small demonstration on this piece of lumber. We'll find someone with a hole. Now, you first want to create a dent, or else the drill bit is gonna slide on the glass. So you will hit it with this angle. You know, these auto repair, the glass repair guys use way smaller drill than this, but bit is really small. My Dremel doesn't fit, and this actually works. So you would hold it like this, and the other hand will hold this part really tight so that it doesn't slide away, and you're gonna hit it like this, where, you know, of course this wood is a lot softer, but you'll create a dent in this way where you can then drill down and it wouldn't slide away. And that's how you create a hole on the glass. So I just realized that I said you know, your left hand should grab here, which is a chuck. No, you don't want to grab there, because it's gonna rotate. You want to grab here as close as you could to the chuck, and you know, hit the glass with that angle. The other thing I want to mention is when you drill a hole, because you gotta understand the windshield is got layers. It's not just one windshield. So when you drill, you don't want to drill through the entire glass. You only want to drill the top layer, because once you get too deep, it's gonna crack. You're gonna have a star-shaped chip because you drill too deep. So only drill halfway, so that you can get the resin in completely. You don't have to drill through the whole thing. Let's take a look where the hole is supposed to go on. It's really hard to see, but you can see the crack goes in here, goes out of here. You will drill the hole a little bit in front of the crack, and then the glass guys, they're gonna push in with their finger. But that seems like sometimes if you push it, you could push too hard, and then it starts cracking from this hole again. So I normally just take a little tiny rubber hammer and just tap it slightly. And you're gonna go ahead and grab the windshield resin and just drape through. Make sure you cover the crack all the way, and then you can see here you would go ahead and put on 2 little plastic sheet under so that the resin doesn't just flow away. In order for the resin to soak into the crack, you're then gonna come inside and then slightly push on the crack. Now that's where you can even see the crack is starts to move. You don't have to push really hard, just push by little. You can see now it's soaking in here. Now you want to push it more on this end so that the resin starts soaking into the crack. Now that you can see it's flowing through. It's hard to see on the camera, but I'm gonna go ahead, keep working on there to get all the resin in. One thing I'd like to mention is you don't want to do this outside unless it's not daytime. Even a cloudy day, there's still some UV outside. It's gonna cure the resin before you can even finish filling up the cracks. So after you confirmed, you go inside, look, because with the light it's you can see it better inside. You'll be able to see when you push your finger on the crack, you'll be able to see once the resin has soaked into the crack. So when you confirm that, make sure all the cracks are filled. You have 2 options. A, you could just drive your vehicle outside, if there's UV, but a lot of time there isn't, or there isn't enough. It's gonna take a while to cure. You can always just keep these little plastic sheet on there, and that'll stop the resin from going away. Or you can be like me. I've got a UV light. It's a big lamp, so I'm just gonna go ahead, turn this on, and that'll cure the resin in a few minutes. Okay, now that just after it dries, peel off the plastic film and grab a razor blade, cut it. Don't try to cut it like this, it's not gonna work very well. Go back and forth, and that's how you slowly work on it. So one thing I'd like to mention is the resin I use is left over from the kit where you have the this along with this, which is used to repair a bullseye and star-shaped chip, that kind of stuff. It's not for crack, but the resin is actually same, so I just keep it and use it on the crack. Now that we've got the extra resin on the surface cut off, it's almost invisible. But for old cracks, the result is not gonna be as good. One thing I'd like to mention is you don't have to drill a hole on the end of the crack. It's almost like a 50-50 chance. Sometimes that crack, it's after you fill it without drilling hole, it'll stay good forever, but sometimes it'll crack after a couple of years. So if you don't want to purchase a bit and just want to go ahead and use some of your leftover windshield resin, you can go ahead. I mean, even in the future, if it cracks, it's gonna be a small crack and you can do the repair again. In my case, I like to just do the repair once for all. That's why I'm just drilling holes on both ends of the crack.